So you're looking to purchase a property out here in Hawaii and you're wondering, what can $500,000 get me out here in Hawaii? Some people might think it's a beautiful home with a pool and some might say maybe it's a sugar shack. Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you what you can get currently in 2025 that's on the market, explain to you why the price points are different and the amount of square footage you get based on the different areas, and help you understand what it is you can buy for $500,000 out here in Hawaii. See you on the other side. What's going on, guys? Patrick here from Team Rajadat, and today we're going to be showing you exactly in 2025 what you can get for $500,000. Now, there's a lot that you need to factor in when it comes to square footage, whether it's fee simple or leasehold, and what the different parts of the island, the vibe is, and what you're going to get for that $500,000. Now, generally, the median sales price for a condo is about $500,000. So finding single family homes is pretty much impossible on this island. There might be some on the west side. We're gonna show you on a map, but let's jump on my computer to show you exactly what you can get for $500,000. Okay, guys, so we're gonna be looking at a few properties on different sides of the island. And what you're gonna see is there's gonna be a variation in bedroom, bathroom count, as well as square footage when we're looking in these price points of about 500,000. So what I'm actually gonna do to narrow our search down, I'm gonna say, let's look at things between 400 and 500,000. Just so we can keep the list a little bit tighter and see what options we have out there. So we got 400 listings across Oahu that are available. You're gonna see that most of them are gonna be condos because the median sales price for condos is about $475,000, $500,000. And you might have a couple single family homes, but those are gonna be found on the west side. Now, the west side is essentially this whole coastline. But when I talk about like proper west side, for those single family homes that are probably going to need some work, you're going to be looking in Makaha, Waianae, Maile, and Nanakuli. Okay, that's pretty much the only last affordable area in Hawaii. And if you want to find single family homes, you know, under 700,000, that's generally where you're going to find them. The median sales price for a single family home is about $1.1 million. So it can be a bit of a challenge to find single family homes in the $500,000 price point. Now, with that being said, when it comes to the cost per square foot, what are we looking at in regards to the most expensive and probably the cheapest? Again, the most expensive is most likely going to be on the Windward side, and the cheapest is generally going to be on the west side proper that we just discussed earlier. Now, you're going to find the highest density, which is going to be in this big green blob right here, which is going to be in Honolulu proper. This is going to be the only place on the island that generally has a large density of skyscrapers. So with those skyscrapers come lots of condos, come lots of options, but then also they're older buildings, generally built in the 70s. So with that, there sometimes can be higher HOAs because those older buildings need to be fixed. And a lot of things we're seeing recently is spalling and painting, modernization of elevators, plumbings that need to be replaced, and roofs. And when those have to happen and they haven't saved enough money, those can increase the HOAs, which can drop the price because it's not as attractive to buyers. So you might think it'd be easier to buy a $500,000 property because it's a lower price point, but there's definitely a lot more things and due diligence that you want to do, reviewing the condo documents, the finances of the building, because you are going to become an owner of that building, partial owner. But it's really important that you or your agent, or you work with an agent that's done a fair amount of condo purchases that can help you alleviate any concern about large HOA increases happening in the near future. If there's any future projects happening that can affect not only your HOAs, but maybe even special assessments, which essentially is a fancy word for them saying, hey, we don't have enough money, we need to replace the elevator, and we need everybody to give us $25,000 right now. That's not a good surprise. So a lot to unpack there, but let's jump into what you can get in every area. Let's start with my hood, the Windward side. Let's jump on over to Kailua. Let's take a look at what's available at that price point. We can see we actually have this one, but I don't want to look at that one because that one is actually saw that one. It is a bank sale. So let's take a look if we actually jump this up to 600,000, just so we have some options. But what you're basically going to see is there's not many options on the Windward side in that $400,000 to $500,000 price point. We have something here for 505, so that's pretty close. This is probably going to be one of the cheapest ones I've seen on this side of the island. We did just recently get one under contract for a client that was a fixer-upper for a little over 500,000. So it's going to be very rare that you find something, at least in Kailua, in that $500,000 price point. But this property I actually did see in person. It's actually a very cute unit. But it's been renovated. You got updated luxury vinyl plank floors. It's in a smaller community definitely an older building, and it's only 2 stacks, so there's only 2 floors. But you can see they updated the floors, updated the cabinets, the countertops. It might be a good option for somebody who wants to get into the Kailua market. And that's why I always tell my clients, if you like the Windward side, if you can afford to get in Kailua, again, I'm biased because I live here, do it. Because this place is growing like crazy. Valuations are generally very strong here. And eventually, people already have gotten priced out of this place. And I remember seeing places for 800,000 single family homes and thinking it was way too much only a couple of years ago. Now you can't find anything that's a tear down for $1 million. So it is a good opportunity if you can get on Kailua, because everybody's Kailua crazy for good reason. It's very convenient, beautiful beaches, but nonetheless, very difficult to find anything for 500,000. But you can step on over to Kaneohe. I like to call Kaneohe kind of Kailua's little brother. But Kaneohe doesn't really offer too many beaches. Generally, it's focused around the bay, hence Kaneohe Bay. So if you got a boat, great option for you. But you're going to find a lot of the condos in that price point area of about 500,000 to be in this general vicinity right here off this street, Kauipa Street. Okay. Now we'll see here. Let's take a look at. Let's just pick one at random. Got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $439 here. We've got, let's take a look at some of these. We've got 2 bedrooms for $469, $449. So this might be a good option. If you're looking for 2 bedrooms and you want to be on the Windward side, this could be a good option for you. So let's just take a look at one of these properties, look at the quality of it. This one's over in Windward Acres. This actually looks beautiful. They did a great job with staging. You see they have updated luxury vinyl plank floors. You're close to the bay. Also a lot of convenience with Kaneohe because you're only a quick drive to the North Shore, probably about 30 to 40 minutes to the North Shore. You also on the other side have easy access to the Like, the H3, and the Poly if you want to go to town or get on the other side of the island. And we can see this is actually a pretty cute unit. They did a good job, but there's still opportunity for you to update it. For example, the kitchen, I would remove these cabinets, open it up, update the cabinets, countertops, and you could really increase the value on this property. And that's something we do for our clients when we're analyzing a deal. If it's a fixer-upper, we'd like to look at the ARV, the after repair value. And we've done a few projects ourselves and then also assisting our clients, which is something that we assist with, whether that's looking at what they could do, how much that would cost, getting them connected with contractors, even linking them up with designers to put together renders so they can see what it would look like, and then putting that all together and going, okay, is this a good buy? Because if I'm going to put 30, 40, 50 grand into it, am I going to, for the time and money I put into it, am I getting any money out? Right? So that is something that we can assist you with. And we can see here that it's 768 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and the HOA is extremely attractive. Now you might be looking at this going 600 is super high. Well, generally on the Windward side, for whatever reason, we do tend to see HOAs for 2 bedrooms anywhere from about $800 to $1,200 a month. So 600 is super low. So I'm happy to see that. And we can also see, this is something that we specialize in. This is offering a VA assumable loan of 2.25%. That means you could take over that loan and have an interest rate of 2.25. Now, there's lots of things we have to look into. It is something we actually have 4 transactions we're running right now that are all VA assumables. We have a few of them that are listings offering VA assumables. So it is something that self-proclaimed specialists at. If you're looking for these types of deals or want to be coached on how you can find yourselves 2%, 3%, 4% interest rates you want to take over, we can definitely put a list together of properties currently on the market offering that's within your budget. But I've got a video right here, you can probably see it in the upper corner, showing you how we do that and how we can build a list for you. But anyways, that's kind of an idea of what you can get in Kaneohe. Okay, now we're going to zoom out. And again, the highest density is going to be in the Honolulu area. But as you focus here, you'll see that Honolulu covers a lot. And it's also a lot of different micro neighborhoods. So you have Waikiki here, which is going to be inside the Aloi. This is going to be a higher price per square foot. We're generally going to see higher HOAs because the buildings are generally built in the 70s. And there's going to be a fluctuation of pricing based on the age of the building, the amenities it has, and a few other things. But we can see that most of the homes, at least in Waikiki, are generally going to be right by the Aloi. Everything else is generally businesses and hotels. And so this is where you're going to see a lot of your options. And this can be highly desirable, this area. Generally, you're going to get higher rents. So if you're buying it from an investment property, you're going to get higher rents for either midterm rental There's a couple buildings that are short-term rental, which we can assist you with as well. And then of course, long-term rental, you're going to get higher rents in this area because it's more desirable simply because of the walkability score. You're only a couple blocks from Waikiki Beach. So this might be a good option for you if you like living in the city and you're also looking for high rents for your investment property. So just to pick a couple here, we're just kind of looking at floating around. We can see that we've got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for $460. I've seen plenty of 1-bedrooms that are going closer to like $350. But let's just take a look at this one here. Take a look here. We can see Wailena Apartments actually did a transaction here as well. I think this one is just a 1-bedroom, but there is some that actually allow buildings that are split. So you'll have actually essentially a duplex, but you're purchasing it as a single property where you can split it into 2 units. And I don't think this is one of them, but it looks like somebody came in here and did some pretty nice renovations. And this one's 625 square feet, 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and the HOA is 700, which is not too bad for the area. Now let's take a look at another one just to get a range of different options here. Let's pick another one here. Here's one for $540. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath over in Coral Terrace Apartments. I've never actually done any business over here. This one obviously needs a little bit of work and it's been on the market for 25 days, 936 square feet. So it's generally the square footage, and the HOA here is 742. Again, not too bad, especially for a 2-bedroom. Now let's see if we can get one more that we can look at here. Let's take a look over closer to the harbor. 588. So this one's been fully renovated, did a really good job on this. And ironically, we're looking at ones that are a little above 500. So we'll see if we can find one that's closer to that $500,000 price point, because that's what you guys are here for. We can see this is a very cute unit. I wonder if this one, Big Surf, I think this one might be zoned for short-term rental. And look, it has 2 separate hall entries. So it allows you to configure it. This is exactly what I was talking about. This might be a great opportunity where you can split the units into 2, live in one and rent out the other without purchasing a duplex, which out here for a duplex, you're looking easy upwards of 1.5 to 1.8 million. And this gives you some flexibility. So this might be, I would bet my bottom dollar that somebody was using this as a mid-term rental, just the way that it was staged, almost like an Airbnb. But I'm not quite sure if it's zoned for Airbnb. I don't think it is, because usually they would just scream that out right in front. But we can see the HOA is 1,200, right? Now you could make the argument, okay, you're paying 1,200, but that's essentially for 2 units, so maybe call it 600 a piece. But it is based on the square footage here. And this is most likely because it's built in the 70s, probably had some projects, increased because of most likely insurance and or having to update the elevator, spalling, things of that nature. But nonetheless, looks like a great unit. Okay, so here's one for 500. We want to find one for 500. So let's take a look at this one. This is over in Twin Towers. We can see it's got a pool. It's got updated floors, updated countertops, and does have some opportunity to make your own for sure. And again, it's right there on the Alawai, so you get a view of the Alawai. And you're only a couple blocks from the beach, okay? Now it's been on the market for 156 days, and this is what we're tending to see. We're seeing opportunities. So if you're looking to get something on the cheap, when I say the cheap, I mean for Hawaii standards, there's some opportunities right now because of some of these issues that condos have been having. And if you can get at the right price and we analyze the deal for you and we see the HOAs aren't too high, we can see this is a little bit more towards the top line of the average for a 2-bedroom. 2 bedrooms generally going to be closer to that 800 to 1200. Then it could make sense. But this is what we can assist you with, is kind of looking at, I like to look at what the average is for that area, for that square footage, and then make sure that you're staying within that average. So this is just another option you got over there in Waikiki. And again, guys, you can find things generally about 300 to 500. You can find studios, 1-bedrooms, and as you can see here, 2 bedrooms. Now the next spot I want to jump over to, a big fan of this area, and generally a lot of my clients or service members tend to buy in this area, which is going to be essentially the Ewa, Kapolei, or Makakilo area. So just to pick one here, we can see you get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here for $450. These are going to be newer homes, 1991. We're going to see generally lower HOAs because they are newer buildings, and we can see that there isn't generally going to be too much work that needs to be done. But we can see that it still has opportunity for you to make your own, right? A lot of these homes are going to have window AC, split AC, and some of the newer ones will have central AC. I'm generally a bigger fan of split They're more efficient when it comes to energy and allows you to put electricity just in one zone of the house. And we can see this one is 700 square feet. Now, another area that I'm a big fan of is Makaha. This is going to be up in the hills, and sometimes you can get some killer views. And we can see these properties, 743 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. We can see that this one has also been renovated. It looks like they did a great job with the renovations. And if we take a look at the HOA, these are generally built in the 80s. Yeah, you can see 88 here. And we can see that the HOAs, again, are a little bit more attractive than what we see in Waikiki, where they can be higher, 800 to 1,200 for those 2 bedrooms. These are about half that, and it's a newer building. And that's the specific reason why they're lower, not as many projects. Now we'll jump on over to the middle of the island. This is going to be Mililani. This is generally another popular area, especially with my Army members, because they're right next to Schofield and Wheeler. And Mililani, I've got a video that goes over right here that breaks down pros and cons of living in Mililani, understanding Mililani town versus Mililani Mauka. But just to kind of show you over here, we do see that the prices tend to go up a little bit more here, simply because the school district is really good. So that's one reason why we've seen prices go up a bit more in Mililani than in certain other areas. The homes can range on when they were built, a lot more of the 80s. But in Mililani Mauka, you'll see in the 90s and 2000s. But generally for the condos, you're going to see basically built in the 80s. So we can see this one for 435, 1-bedroom, 1 bath. This one built in the 90s. Square footage wise, 497, 435. And again, this one looks like it's been renovated as well, lightly. It's a wild car. And additionally, we can see the HOA is 466. Again, very attractive. Okay. So again, that just kind of gives you a quick snapshot of Mililani. And then, of course, you've got the west side here. Now, you're going to have a fair amount of options out here, especially at this price point. And if you're looking for a single family home, I don't know if we're going to find any, but let's just see if we have any. We've got 22 single family homes in the $400,000 to $600,000 price range. And you can see that if we zoom out again, you'll see that the general ones are all going to be on the west side here. Okay. So let's see if we can find anything that's not a tear down. At least at 600,000, you'll be able to find some. So here's one 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 850 square feet, plantation style home, right on Farrington Highway, which is a main highway. But if you're looking for a single family home, if that's, you don't want an HOA, this is where you can find single family homes in that price point. Again, this is at 585. Let's take a look at another one, maybe over here in Makaha. This one's at 599, 525. Let's take a look at this one. So again, you're going to see that at that price point, you're going to find older homes. Nothing's going to be new, but you'll have a single family home without an HOA. This one doesn't even have photos of the inside. So let's see if we can find one more here. So here's one at 500 on the dot. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet. And this actually looks really nice. This looks like most likely a flip, but looks like they did a really nice job on the inside. But the biggest thing, guys, is we have a lot of clients who purchase property sight unseen, and the inside of the photos might be one thing, but one thing that we really assist our clients with, especially if they're buying sight unseen, is exploring the surrounding neighborhood. Because inside your home might be beautiful, but you want to know, who are my neighbors? What is the general vibe in the area? Is there traffic noise? Is there street noise? Is there planes flying over? For example, Ewa Beach, you're going to have planes flying over, which might affect your lifestyle if you're hearing planes. Some people don't really care at all, but these are all things that we help our clients with. So as you saw, it really depends on what part of the island you're on. You want to factor in where you're going to be commuting for work, how much room do you need? And some of the big questions I always like to ask my clients, and you should be asking yourself, is if you get yourself pre-approved, which if you haven't, make sure you do that, and understand, okay, this is what my budget is. This is what I feel comfortable monthly, and you really want to focus on that monthly of what you feel comfortable. And then if you get qualified for $1 million, but your monthly is only allowing you to really stay in that $700,000 price point, I would suggest staying there, maybe push it a little bit, but you always want to make sure you find a home that you can feel comfortable in and not stressed every single month, and maybe have an open concept kitchen, but you're eating top ramen every single night. Nobody wants that. So some important questions you want to ask yourself while you're shopping is, number 1, what is the max commute time that I'm comfortable with? Number 2, What is the monthly max that I'm feeling comfortable with? And number 3, what is the minimum bedroom and bathroom count that I would be okay with? The minimum, because you're gonna get a lot less square footage out here. But if you buy a house, you're generally gonna walk away with equity and money in your pocket, depending on how long you hold on to the property for. Again, I'd be happy to guide you through that process, but those are some of the big questions you wanna ask yourself when you're in the shopping process. Okay guys, well that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys got any value out of this video, do me a huge favor, smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. And if you have any comments, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Put them in the comment section down below. And if you have any questions or need some boots on the ground, feel free to reach out to me. I got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm Patrick Longley with Team Roger That. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.